Hello everyone, welcome back. I got some really good ones for you today, but first I hope you're having an awesome week so far on this Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Markets. The three major US stock indices all pulled back modestly today, nothing crazy. At the open, we saw the 10-year yield come down, the dollar soften. That gave risk assets like NASDAQ, oil, Bitcoin, and gold a nice boost. However, over the course of the day, the 10-year yield moved back up above 4%. That dollar kind of moved back up, kind of wiping out all the gains for risk assets, creating a pretty flat day for markets. We did see WTI crude go up from 86 to 88 a barrel today. We did see modest gains in silver. However, otherwise, pretty flat day. Bitcoin hanging out at 20,000 for like the last 4 months, more stable than the municipal bond market. Crazy. Very bullish here on Bitcoin though at 20, and I'm very bullish on some of these altcoins out to the end of the risk curve, the furthest frontier for risk. Some of these altcoins, deep value, have gone down as much as 98%. So you can pick up some of these altcoins like AMP or Gala for just pennies on the dollar. You know, instead of buying a Long Island or a $25 t-shirt, you could buy thousands of some of these coins that are very speculative, and 9 out of 10 of these altcoins aren't viable and aren't going to make it. But if you're, looking for deep value, I would point you over to the altcoin space, start doing a little thumbing through the shitcoin catalog, finding projects that you think do have application, are viable, will survive this bear market, and potentially rip face, 10x, 100x, 1000x in the next bull market or alt season. So I'm looking at deep value in the altcoins, and I'll kind of give you my thoughts on altcoins. So Bitcoin is the tier 1 layer, in my opinion, for the next monetary system, potentially akin to some form of digital gold, kind of like how real gold today is the tier 1 base layer for today's economy. Bitcoin could be that for the next monetary system, in my opinion. It's not centralized. Nobody has, say over the direction of Bitcoin or where it goes. There is like a Bitcoin foundation, but, as far as people working for Bitcoin, there just really isn't that centralized hierarchy that you see in assets that have counterparty like companies or, real estate. So Bitcoin doesn't carry any counterparty risk. It's completely decentralized. It's just a foundation. It's just like pouring a very sturdy concrete foundation on which you're going to build the future. So Bitcoin, I kind of look at that way. I like my Bitcoin dumb, a store of value, not very constructive. I don't want my Bitcoin to change, but I do love this stuff. Kind of putting that off to the side, we can enter the altcoin space, which these things are not competing with Bitcoin, okay? These are all centralized. They're applications that are aiming to do something specific in the crypto or finance world, like Ethereum, for instance, the number 2 cryptocurrency. That's run by Vitalik Buterin. It's like a kid. It's a World of Warcraft kid that's like 7 years younger than me. He's probably like 28 right now. He's going to decide overall the direction of Ethereum and the Ethereum ecosystem. So, you see interviews with Vitalik, you see changes come to Ethereum pretty regularly. So what is Ethereum aiming to accomplish? Well, they want to be a cryptocurrency that kind of sits next to Bitcoin, but it is centrally controlled. And the whole idea is use case. Why would people use Ethereum over Bitcoin? Well, the way I look at it, Ethereum's kind of like the money and Bitcoin's kind of like the gold. I buy the Bitcoin as a value store, I put it off to the side, but if I want to buy NFTs or get involved in the future of finance with regard to smart contract, oracles, DeFi, or if I want to get involved in the metaverse or Web3 or gaming coins, then I look at the Ethereum ecosystem because it's much more pointed and specific and mission oriented and wants to change the world, wants to make things better for people, wants to move the ball forward, as opposed to Bitcoin, whose job is just to be like chunks of the Mona Lisa, store of value, non-productive, non-changing, just chilling. So you could take a look at Ethereum. You could take a look at the Ethereum ecosystem, which is all those ERC20 tokens. For instance, like look at Power Ledger, that's an Ethereum token. Gala, that's an Ethereum token. I'm trying to think of like big ones that you could really go with. Shiba Inu, SHIB. Gosh, there's tons. I kind of wish I had a list in front of me. Basic Attention Token, Chainlink Labs. Chainlink's a little different, but they are involved in the Ethereum ecosystem. Polygon is one that you can take a look at. So Polygon, ticker Matic. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities inside the Ethereum ecosystem, but they're not stores of value, okay? These are very highly speculative, non-registered tech stocks. So, you know, I would say maybe go looking right now for deep value, not a buy or sell recommendation, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm looking at deep value inside the Ethereum ecosystem and some of the coins outside of the Ethereum ecosystem, some of these ETH killers like Solana, Avalanche, Algorand. You know, I'm looking at all those. I'm hunting for deep value in the altcoin space. The idea being I'm going to pick like 20 of these things. 2 or 3 are going to 10x, 100x, 1000x, and the other, like, you know, 16, 17, 18 are going to push closer and closer to a theoretical zero. So, you know, you could take $1,000. I'm not saying to do this, but you could take $1,000, pick 10 really cheap altcoins, put $100 in each one, knowing full well that you're not going to be able to guess which 1 or 2, 10, 100, 1000x. And you're going to want to hold on to those too, because they're going to make up for the other like 8 or 9 horrible losses. You can also do a little bit of dollar cost averaging. So like, let's say you were to start at a position today in AMP. Okay, AMP is like less than half a penny right now. So let's say you bought 5,000 of those for 20 bucks. Well, you could also put in your first $20, buy those first 5,000, and if we do move lower, like let's say that $25 gets cut down to 18, you could do another $20, and then I would say, you know, be done. Don't put your net worth into these altcoins more than you can afford to lose. Like, don't go all in on any specific altcoin. But the idea being, a lot of these coins have come down 98% off of their highs. Start doing a little bottom fishing, hunting for just really deep value. So it's not as much as how excited about the project you are. It's just that you can get 1,000 of these coins for practically nothing. Coins I like, well, let's get into it. So I like Bitcoin, okay, a lot. The dumber it gets, the more I like it. I don't care, leave Bitcoin alone. I like Ethereum. Ethereum is the second most popular coin, coming at a market cap of like, oh gosh, $175 billion. So a very difficult network to displace. I really think Ethereum has staying power and will be the dominant alternative to Bitcoin. So you could look at Ethereum, then you could look inside the Ethereum ecosystem, like, you know, your coins like Gala, like Basic Attention Token, like Veracity, what others are there? Matic. Gosh, there's really a ton. See, ERC20 tokens inside the Ethereum ecosystem you can look at. Shiba Inu, you know, awesome little ETH tokens that belong under that Ethereum ecosystem. You could also look at the ETH killers. So you have like Solana, Algorand, Avalanche, Cosmos. They're all kind of looking to displace the Ethereum ecosystem one day. Maybe there's some good deals in the ETH killers. Yeah, so I'm really looking at the altcoin space. I think now's the time to start hunting for deep value and preparing yourself for the next bull run. look, when the next alt season comes and these things are going up 30, 40, 50% a week, that's not the time to be chasing them. That's the time, if anything, to be selling them. So not a buy or sell recommendation. Don't do that on this channel. But I am putting myself in a position now to be selling into hype on the next altcoin run, alt season. Bitcoin I buy, I just kind of dollar cost average over time. You don't want to be trading in and out of Bitcoin, in my opinion. It's kind of like akin to trading in and out of gold. I don't really like doing that. I like stacking physical for the long term, making it a one-way street, never selling it. Cool, wonderful way to store value. Same with my Bitcoin, but I am starting to take some speculative positions in some of these altcoins that are like a penny. And I'm also adding to altcoin positions that I've had for some time, like Chainlink, Matic. You know, these are coins that I've had for a good bit, but I'm adding coins like Rally that are a penny right now, or AMP that are half a penny right now, or Gala that's only 3 to 4 cents right now. So do I think that these projects are going to usurp Bitcoin? And no, absolutely not. But do I think that they are pursuing constructive endeavors that could turn out to be, you know, 10, 20x or draw some interest over the next few years that I could sell into? Absolutely. So I'm looking to speculate here. Another reason that I like speculating in the altcoins here is I think we're reaching peak hawkishness inside the Federal Reserve and the markets right now. So what do I mean by that? Well, tomorrow I would say the Federal Reserve is going to do a 75 basis point increase to the Fed funds rate, and then next month we'll probably do one more rate hike of 50 basis points, so less, and then going forward into next year, potentially none or rate cuts. I really think the market is overly optimistic with this whole 4.5–5% terminal Fed funds rate. I'm waiting for the Fed to get these interest rate hikes over with and then begin to take interest rate hikes off the table, flip more dovish in their rhetoric, continue to expand their balance sheet, and even begin discussing cutting rates, which would be hyper bullish for risk assets like NASDAQ, oil, Bitcoin, and gold, and continue to stoke inflation. The Fed's done a pretty decent job this year, in my opinion, of bringing demand down, but they haven't really been able to adequately bring down inflation. I think they're coming around to the idea that they're not going to be able to get inflation under control. And so without having broke the back of inflation, I'm looking for the Fed to start pivoting more dovish anyway, sending those risk assets higher, making inflation worse. I hope wages can keep up. I hope the real economy can, begin to recover from the last couple of years. We can see some real positive GDP growth if we're also going to have a lot of inflation. And that's just kind of what I see going on. So I'm tentatively optimistic, asset prices. However, I don't need a strong economy for these asset prices to start turning around and moving to the upside. So I'm just kind of waiting on a Fed flip. Hang on every word tomorrow at the press conference following the FOMC meeting. So that'll be by Jay Powell tomorrow at around 2 p.m. Eastern time. Hang on every word. That's what the markets are doing. If you go on Google, you can type in economic calendar. You'll see Market Watch has a link. Click on that link. That's your economic calendar. So you can kind of see the data that we have coming in, what the market expectations are, whether we're meeting that or not. Kind of give you a little cheat sheet to follow along as the week progresses, but just know that all eyes are ultimately on the Federal Reserve and the FOMC meeting tomorrow. So kind of wrap everything up. Pretty flat day in markets. We're waiting for the Federal Reserve to speak tomorrow. Things could get pretty crazy going into the rest of the week. I'm tentatively bullish risk assets because I believe after tomorrow, the Fed's going to start doing baby bumps to the interest rate hikes, if any at all. So probably the final 75 basis point hike comes tomorrow, then a 50, then if any at all, and that should put those risk assets much higher going into the rest of the year and next year. Just my opinion. I could totally be wrong. I'm looking for some deep value in those alts while I wait, and that's really all I got for you for right now. Till next time.